about the proposed system of the ABCEMS. And before we start, we're going to introduce ourselves. So, first is me. I'm Vanessa Pedro, and I'm the leader of this team. And I'm the one who supervises and provides all of the ideas and helps the team members in doing the chapters and documentations.
So next, I'm Marey Torres. I'm the one who does the diagrams and also helps provide ideas to the project.
And lastly, I'm Chloemae Naval, who does the documentation and provides the materials for our group.
Thank you.
Chapter 1, Company Background and Organizing for Improvement. Company Overview. The official name of our client is Audiovisual Center Equipment Management of the Salle College of St. Benilde Learning Resource Center. The ABC serves as a means of having access to the equipment needs of the students, teachers, and other people involved in the college. ABC gives users chance to make learning a lot more possible to receive through providing equipment such as speakers, microphones, audio cables, and even CD, DVD, and microfilms. LRC ABC to its users, and the users are highly encouraged not to waste this one-in-a-million college life chance. Library Services. Reference and Circulation Services, SDA Library Commons, Audiovisual Services, Printing Services, Digital Photocopying Services, and Laminating Services. The Audiovisual Services. Borrowing equipment ranging from speakers to CD or DVD. Reservation of equipment the same as above. Type and number of customers. The types of customers or users are students and teachers who use ABC for classroom discussion purposes and for a much better learning experience. The number of customers or users might reach up to 50 or much more depending on the day or schedule of the students and teachers who are mostly using ABC. The type and number of transactions. One of the transactions of its borrowing equipment, and with the number of users mentioned before, it is almost the same of the number of borrowing transactions taking place. This is also the same with the returning transaction. However, it's not quite the same for reservation transaction because it differs from borrowing directly from the ABC itself. This is our organizational chart. The statement of the problem. Although the current ABCEMS is working well and does not have major problems, there are many opportunities to make it work better. There may be cases where it takes too long for the transaction to be completed, and errors may also occur in some of the transactions. Borrowers who may be still outside the campus and running late for class will have hard time borrowing equipment within very short period of time. In addition, ABC may have inconsistency or wrong records on the transactions per borrower or per equipment. These are the following problems within the ABC. The ABC can improve their services if they automate the filling out of information and if they allow online reservation accessible to any device with internet connection. They can lessen the time needed in filling out information of the borrower if they use an ID scanner which can automatically draw out the needed information. They can also make a website or online viewing of transactions that the borrowers can confirm and check transactions are right. This feature will help the accuracy of the data in reports of the ABC. The ABC system may have nothing wrong with it, but there are opportunities to improve, and improvements cited may help the ABC to have better service for student, faculty members, and other staff at TLSCSB. Objectives of the system. The goals of our study or proposed system is to create ideas in terms of system features that will help us in programming in the user interface designs, and to be able to identify and elaborate the tangible and intangible benefits regarding the new ABCEMS system features. So, I will cite some tangible benefits, and here are creating UI forms for borrowing and reserving, system that will allow you to borrow or reserve online on any computer, and system that allows automatic updates after every transaction. Some of intangible benefits are creating or allotting a space for activities promoted by the LRC like web ads, and creating or allotting a space for updates in the homepage. We will show pictures of the benefits. Significance of the study. The study's significance to the users is very important. We believe that the users are the ones greatly affected in this study because as users, they'll be the ones who will use the new system for an easier transaction process. The purpose of having an easier transaction process is the reason why this study came into light, so we believe that this is enough proof for the study to be very significant. In terms with ABC, the study will prove to be significant to them because it will help them acknowledge certain improvements and maybe in the future, they'll have a better process of dealing with their services offered. Lastly, for the group, the study proves to be significant mainly because of one thing. It will help us analyzing systems in future projects and in our future careers. We think that it will help us greatly because this will serve as our basis or reference whenever we'll have to encounter doing something like this in the future. Scope and limitation. The study started on how the ABC operates and how every transaction happens. We also included the process flow and requirements needed in borrowing, returning, reserving, and others. We came into a system that will allow online or computer-based transactions that will also include the generating of reports. This system will allow the users to finish a transaction within a shorter time and less hassle. This will also help the ABC to decrease the cost in their part. With the benefits cited, we also came up with system features that will produce benefits to both the ABC and the borrowers. However, we had so many choices on the updates or features, and this may take time to evaluate which feature works best. As the system progresses, there will be another check if the users find the system convenient and more useful than the previous system. Some users may also have difficult time to adjust to the new system. Also, this system is only limited for the ABC.
The next is the process walkthrough. We will include here the three processes, so the borrowing, the returning, and the reserving. In the borrowing, first, you need to fill up the borrower's form. For the total waiting time, it will take 30 to 60 seconds, and for the actual processing time, it will take 30 to 60 seconds. The next is to give the borrower's form and the ID to the ABC tech. For the total waiting time, it will come up to 30 to 60 seconds, and for the actual processing time, 30 to 60 seconds. Third step is the ABC tech will check the equipment and give it to the borrower. The total waiting time is 30 to 60 seconds, and the actual processing time is 30 to 60 seconds. And for the returning equipment, this will sum up to also 30 to 60 seconds, and the actual processing time is 30 to 60 seconds. The ABC tech will check if the equipment is broken, then the ID will be given back to the owner. The total waiting time here is 30 to 60 seconds, and the actual processing time is 30 to 60 seconds. For the reservation, the first process is to fill up the reservation form. That will take 30 to 60 seconds, and the actual processing time is also 30 to 60 seconds. After filling up the reservation form, you will give it to the ABC tech, and the ABC technician will process your reservation. The total waiting time is 5 to 10 seconds, and the actual processing time is 5 to 10 seconds. The next is the process time versus the cycle time. Now I will dictate the first 4 activities and its process time and cycle time, and the rest will be shown in a picture. For the first activity, from the classroom, go to Audiovisual Center or ABC. The process time is 5 minutes and the cycle time is 10 minutes. Second, fill up the borrower's form. Processing time is 1 minute and cycle time is 5 minutes. Third, give your ID and the borrower's form to the ABC staff or technician. Processing time is 10 seconds and cycle time is 2 minutes. ABC staff or technician will check or test the equipment. Processing time is 30 seconds and the cycle time is 3 minutes. For the total of 10 activities, the total processing time is 25 minutes and 30 seconds, while the cycle time sums up to 1 hour and 13 minutes. The next is the use case diagram for the existing system. The borrowing, returning, and reserving processes is done between the borrower and the ABC technician or staff, while the maintaining of equipment inventory and the generating of reports is done by the ABC technician. Also, the settling of penalties is done between the borrower and the accounting office. Next is the table of recommendations. Also here, I will dictate the first 3 problems to be addressed, while the rest is shown in a picture. First problem to be addressed is the lack of well-programmed computers. The recommended improvement or change is that we'll create an improved system of ABCMS to make an easier transaction process. And the affected activities is the manual system of borrowing and reserving in the ABC. Second, almost everything is manual. Our recommended improvement is we'll make an online system so that there will be less time to consume, and the affected activities will be also the manual system of the borrowing and reserving in the ABC. Third, errors or inconsistent and inaccurate data may occur. Recommended improvement is the online system will be designed to validate identity and other data. The affected activities is the data of the ABC, including records and student or employee profiles. The 4th, 5th, and 6th will be shown in the picture. Next is the use case diagram of the proposed system. The borrowing and the reserving processes is done by the borrower in the ABCMS, but the ABCMS is still supervised by the ABC technician or staff. The borrower still returns the equipment to the ABC technician, but the ABC technician will do the managing of equipment inventory and the generating of the reports with the help of the ABCMS. And the settling of penalties is still done manually between the borrower and the accounting office. Next is the use case scenarios. We will discuss here the borrowing, reserving, maintaining of equipment inventory, and the generating of reports, since it has the great improvement in the system, and since also the returning and the settling of penalties will still be done manually. For the borrowing equipment, the borrower logs into the ABCMS. The ABCMS will validate the borrower's account, and the borrower will fill up the information needed in the borrowing web form. The ABC staff will verify the information in the web form, and once it is verified, the ABC staff will give the equipment to the borrower. For the reservation, the steps 1 to 4 is still the same, and the step 5 will be the ABC staff reserves the equipment needed for the certain date and time. For the managing of equipment inventory, the ABC staff will log into the database, and the ABC staff will update the changes in the database. Using the ABCMS will help the ABC decrease the inconsistency and the inaccurate reports. For the generation of the reports, for step 1, still the ABC staff will log in the transaction database. The ABC staff will compile all the past transactions of all the borrowers. The ABC staff will send the past transactions to the emails of the borrowers or the administrators, and the ABC staff will log out of the database.
So, I will explain the activity diagrams for borrowing, reserving, managing equipment inventory, and generating reports. since the returning and settling penalties will remain manual. So for the borrowing activity diagram, so step 1, the borrower logs into the ABCMS. ABCMS validates the borrower's account. Borrower fills up information needed in the borrowing web form. ABC staff verifies the information in the web form. Then, ABC staff gives equipment to the borrower. And the alternate flow is in step 2, wherein if the borrower's account is not valid, the first step is borrower asks for assistance from the ABC staff. Then, ABC staff asks the borrower to manually fill up a borrowing form. Then, the borrower fills up the form, and borrower gives form and ID to the ABC staff. Then, it will return to step 5, which is ABC staff gives equipment to borrower. So, for the reserving activity diagram, so it's the same for step 1 to 4 of the borrowing activity diagram. The only difference is the step 5, again, which is the ABC staff reserves the equipment needed for a certain date and time. And the alternate flow is also in step 2, which is if the borrower's account is not valid. So it's the same with the borrower activity diagram. So next is the manage equipment inventory activity diagram. Step 1, ABC staff logs into the database. Then it will update changes in the database, then save changes, and then log out. So it doesn't have any alternate flow because since we created an online system, that will make life easier. Yeah, awesome. So next is the generate reports activity diagram. And the first step is ABC staff logs into the transaction database, then compiles all the past transactions of all the borrowers and sends it to the email of the borrowers, and the ABC staff will log out from the database. Again, it doesn't have any alternative flow because since it's done online, it will make our lives easier and no more alternate flows. So next is the benchmarking, wherein we're going to compare our proposed system to another system of another school. So the competitor's background or overview. So we chose the Salle University Instruction and Media Services. So we're going to compare it with our proposed system of the ABCMS, and they are both committed to providing quality education to students. For the comparison, I'm going to mention the first two, and the rest will be in image form. So, first off is from the Salle University. So, the borrowers or types of customers are the students and teachers who use the Instruction and Media Services unit to meet their instructional and research needs. So, for the proposed system, the borrowers or types of customers are the students and teachers who use the ABC for classroom discussion purposes and for a much better learning experience. The second one, for the De La Salle University, the number of customers or users, which is estimated, might reach up to 100 or much more depending on the day or schedule of the students and teachers who are mostly using the Instruction and Media Services unit. Meanwhile, in the proposed system, the number of customers or users is estimated to 50 or much more depending on the day or schedule too. So, as you can see, De La Salle University has 100 plus more of their customers because they have a larger population. So, as I said, the rest will be in image form. Bye-bye. So, next is the streamlining, wherein there are 12 streamlining tools, and we chose 3. So, first is bureaucracy. So, instead of borrowing, returning, or reserving equipment in the ABC, using the student, teacher, other staff's ID, and borrowers and reservation forms, we propose to use the online database through ABC EMS. So all of the reservation forms, borrower forms are transacted in the online system. So next streamlining tool is the value-added assessment. So based on the benchmarking, we evaluated the two similar companies by comparing both of them, their data or information regarding the audiovisual center. So we compared the number of customers, number of transactions per day, number of branches, type of information systems, and other information of each company. And last is the simplification, wherein the work of the staffs in the ABC became much easier. Their workload was diminished because of the proposed system, which is ABC EMS. So the advantage of having the online system is that the ABC staff or technician will only be monitoring the performance of the system. So as a conclusion for the whole group, our proposed system, we can say that it's much better than the existing system because since everything is done online, as we keep on saying, it's really easier because there will be less time to consume and the records will be in database form and it will be easily accessed and protected or secured. There will be security because only the ABC staff can access it.
Ikaw sa documentation. Okay? Okay.
Game.
Big All Express!
Okay.
Sa akin talaga kayo natatawa.
Okay. Wait, paabot nga niya.
Paano mo siya? Okay.
Kita ba talaga?
Yeah.
Ito?
So,
Good day.
Wag
na yan.
Okay, wala na yung good day.
Magpakilala
Good day, tas talikod dati good evening.
I-upload nyo to, yung skandalog to.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, tama na. Seryoso na. 1, 2, 3. Bicol Express, go! So, next is the benchmarking. Sabi ko sana benchmarking. So, next is the streamlining. So, there are 12. So, next is the streamlining wherein there are 12.